Hey, how you doing, fellow golf junkies? Migmatisgolf again, the channel where you get the unconventional golf instruction, not the usual stuff that you'll see in the magazines and from your local pro and all that. As you know, I'm not a huge fan of that kind of instruction. I think a lot of it is stale and a bit one-dimensional. Not to say there aren't great teachers out there, but in general, I think they just keep spewing out the same old stuff. Doesn't really work for everybody. So Migmatisgolf, his aim is to give you unusual little things, think a bit outside the box, little drills and books to read, etc., things that might just help you, you never know. So here we go. It's a bit windy, so I'm hoping the audio is okay. Got my trusty mate Alice here, and today we're going to talk about contact. We're going to talk about center hit contact and why it's important. Obviously, if you want to be consistent at golf, you need to be striking the ball in the sweet spot of the club face. And I made another video, you can go check it out, from a book I read called The Sweet Spot, and that explains all the physics of why it's important to hit the sweet spot of the golf club. So I'm not going to bore you with that now, but how do you go about achieving that is quite important. Let me just start out by saying you can actually have a pretty ugly motion or inefficient motion, but be hitting the sweet spot every single time. So your hand-eye coordination is good, you're consistent with your swing. You can actually shoot some pretty good scores that way. I played golf with plenty of guys, not so many girls, sorry, but I played golf with plenty of guys who didn't hit the ball very far, hit kind of big slices, but they scored really well because they were consistent at hitting the same spot on the club face every single time. They had good distance control, and yeah, they knew how to score because of that. So it can be done, right? So club face center contact awareness is really important. So let's get back to how you're going to achieve that. I love this drill. I didn't come up with it. I saw it somewhere else, but I thought it's a good one to pass on. You'll see a lot of people buy that impact tape that you stick on the face of the club while you're practicing, and you can see exactly where the ball makes a mark, or some people just roll the ball in a bit of talc, you know, baby powder, and then it leaves some talc on the face. There's all kinds of things you can do. The problem with the impact tape is very quickly you get 4 or 5 marks and then you can't tell anymore where you're striking it. So you go through impact tape very quickly. It's quite expensive. The talc powder stuff, it takes a bit of time to keep bending over, rolling this around, sticking it on the ground, striking the ball, cleaning the face off. It puts a lot of people off. So there are 2 other things that you can do. They're basically along the same theme, but if I get a bit closer here, you can check this out. Like I said, I didn't come up with this. Now, if you can see there on the club, I've got 2 rubber bands separated by 3/4 of an inch, maybe an inch, roughly, just around the sweet spot. Now, very easy, put a couple of rubber bands on the face of the club. If you put them on, if you wind them on a couple of times there, even as you brush through the grass, they don't really come off. Shh, Alice. And the nice thing is you can vary how accurate you want to be. So if I show you that, that's only about 3/4 of an inch. You can move this out, move that out, so you can start off giving yourself a huge margin of error and slowly get them closer, closer, and refine them. If you actually take the ball and you stick it against the face of the club and you look down kind of on the sweet spot, you'll notice that you can't really get these rubber bands closer together than about 1/2 an inch before, even if you hit the sweet spot, side of the ball is going to hit them. So that's about the limit of how close you can get them together, but that would make you pretty damn accurate, kind of tour level stuff if you can get it down to that. But basically, with those 2 rubber bands there, if you hit between them, you're achieving your goal. If you're slightly off, you will hit the rubber band and you'll get instant feedback. You'll get a deadened blow. You'll feel it. Either the ball will just shoot off sideways at a weird angle, so be careful where you do this, or you'll just feel through impact this kind of muffled, deadened kind of strike on the ball, and you'll know that you've hit the elastic band. So a really cheap aid, works really well. And if you practice a bit with this, improve your sweet spot contact awareness, then regardless of what you're doing in your swing and all that, you'll actually improve immensely, because you just become much more consistent with your distances, etc., etc. Applies for everything: chipping, pitching, full swing. The other method I was quickly going to show you, which is, like I said, along the same theme. It's basically, you know, some of this medical tape you can get, either the brown stuff, this is the white stuff, and then that's easy. Also, it's kind of got a bit of rubberness to it because they're waterproof, so you just wrap around the club face a couple of times with that. That will achieve the same thing. The downside of this is obviously it's not adjustable. Once it's taped on there, you can't really move it in and out, but it works, you know. And I'm sure you guys can all come up with your own little ways as well. But bottom line, moral of the story is, to be good at golf, you need to be hitting the same place on the face each time, preferably bang on the sweet spot. But as long as you're consistent where you're hitting it, and the ball is always traveling the same distance for each club, you will really improve your scores. Okay, that's about it, as Alice destroys yet another one of my balls. I'm going through these like hotcakes. That's it. As you can see, I'm back in the UK. It's a gorgeous summer's day. There really isn't many places as beautiful as the UK in the summer. It's just sadly a fact that it's not sunny that often here. But when it is, what a great place to be. All right, it's enough from me. I'll catch you again soon with another tips and tricks video. Hope you enjoyed that one. Go out there, practice this. It will really improve your golf. Do us a favor, do all the good stuff, like give us a thumbs up, leave some comments, subscribe to the channel, that would be great, and tell your friends. All right, see you later.